All right, so in this module, we're going to talk about how to launch the products that you have. And let me just start off by saying this. This training was created for the membership program in particular. So we're going to really look at it from that angle. However, this will apply to all of the products that you have, all of the digital products, the books that you have, the courses, the coaching, anything that you have, all of that will work right here, books, courses, and other offers. And let me add this. It's really important that you learn how to launch your offers. If you don't do that, most people are not going to stumble upon it and find it. So you've got to figure out a strategic way to actually let people know what you have. So first of all, what we want to do is we want to understand the basics of a launch. Understand the basics of how a launch works. Here's what a launch is. A launch is opening your virtual doors. So that's kind of in the digital space, opening your virtual doors for business so people can buy your goods and service. So we're going to open up for business so people can come to you and they can make a purchase. Now, there are primarily two types of launches. There are, first of all, open launches. Second of all, closed launches. So the difference between an open and a closed launch is really very simple once you understand the mechanics. An open launch, generally just think of, hey, the doors are always open for business. You can come up and you can purchase here this offer at any time. The closed launch means, hey, this offer can only be purchased when the doors are open. Now, let me say this. There are going to be offers that you have on your website that are probably going to always be open. So there may be an opportunity for people to always buy a book. Or you may have what we call some evergreen launches going in the background. That's another strategy that we'll talk about in the coaching modules if you want to join that. But primarily what we're going to deal with is Amplify teaches a closed launch strategy, and we teach the closed launch strategy for 4 reasons. You really don't have to know how to do an open launch. You just kind of open up the door and it's there. So the closed launch, really, I think there are 4 primary things that this is going to achieve. When you are doing a closed launch strategy in a membership program, and again, I think this applies on so many other products and offers as well, there's going to be more interaction in the community. Here's why. It's because people couldn't get in, and now all of a sudden they're allowed to get in, so they're happy to get in, and then they start interacting because, oh, we finally made it. Hey, you made it, I made it. Hey, we're all in. So there happens to be more interaction. In addition, there are greater results because people actually clamor to get in because now all of a sudden your doors are open and they can purchase what you have. Another reason that they get better results is there's more testimonials, there's greater social proof. So people are interacting because there's more interaction. That creates greater social proof and more testimonials, which it really starts becoming cyclical because as other people outside see these testimonials, they want to get in. Once they get in, oh, I finally made it. So there's more interaction. I'm finally here. So all of this really builds upon each other. And then also, if you close those doors and people know I can only join at certain times, once they get in, there tends to be this motivation for people to stay in the group and to engage in the group. Well, all of this leads to the obvious question. If you're working with a closed door strategy, a closed launch strategy, it raises the question that's very obvious. How in the world do people get in? If you're closing the doors, how do people make the purchase? And here's what you do. Number one, you open and close the door 3 to 4 times a year for 5 to 7 days. Open and close the door 3 to 4 times a year for about 5 to 7 days. That means, just to be clear, you're going to be running probably 4 public-facing launches for your membership group that are going to take about a week each. So 4 weeks out of the year, once a quarter, you're going to be, if you follow this plan, you're going to be launching that membership program. Here's another bit of strategy we want to add to this. Again, with membership programs, is begin with the founder's price and then raise it with each subsequent launch that you do. So here's part of the pricing strategy. Let's just kind of map it out graphically. I would suggest you begin at about half, maybe even less, of where you want to be. So if you're wanting to end up selling a monthly membership that at some point is going to end up around $100 a month, that means you'd probably start off with a founder's price of about $50, maybe even $30, thinking that at some point I'm going to raise this point in the future. You promise with these founders not to ever raise the price. So, hey, if you join now while we're beginning this thing, we're going to lock you in at this price. The price will go up. And when you see this launch again, and you don't tell them, hey, I'm going to launch it again in another quarter from now. When you see the price offered again to other people, that price will be higher, but I will never raise the price on you. This will accomplish something. It will build loyalty among the first people who are in that group. And then also, it will encourage future members once they join to stay in. And so that really becomes part of your strategy. Again, instead of starting higher and then discounting, start lower and then raise it up, particularly as you build the group and as more testimonials, more social proof, more interaction happens. Here's another bit of strategy that I would say is don't do free trials, particularly in a membership group. Here's why. They attract the people who aren't convinced of the value yet. So those people tend not to engage. They tend not to interact. They tend not to do the things that you're coaching and that you're telling them to apply to do. As a result, they don't get results in general. And because of that, they end up canceling anyway. These actually end up becoming some of your highest need customers on the front end. Why? Because they weren't convinced of the value. What you should do instead is a risk-free guarantee to if somebody wants to cancel free for 30 days, or if they want to cancel within 30 days, let's just start that over, Jaron. What you should do instead is if somebody wants to cancel, then allow them to do that in the first 30 days so that you have really removed that risk from them and placed that upon you. Now, notice this. The 3 launch tactics that we've first mentioned right here, before we really go into how to do the launch, these tactics are all counterintuitive. Okay, so counterintuitive, number 1 is we're going to start with a closed launch, not an open one. That means these high ticket offers and these repeating purchases, people aren't necessarily going to buy those at all times. Why? Because we've closed the doors. We're not even advertising. We're not even letting them know at this point that we're open for business. During those seasons, we're adding value. We're building credibility. We're gaining trust. We're working that time plus consistency over time builds trust. Number 2, we are going to start with a lower price and step up the price. Now, let me explain why you would do this. Think about logically, if you want the membership program that you're doing to be $100 eventually, just for sake of example, and you do that for a while and people join, and then at some point you say, hey, I'm going to run a special. I'm running a sale. So if you want to join right now, you can get in for $75, $80, whatever you discount it to. What do you think is going to happen with the people who joined you first? They're going to say, well, hey, I want to get out. Like, I want to get out and get a better deal. Well, that doesn't make sense. That's a lot like how the cell phone companies run, right? Is, hey, the new people get all the good deals. What you want to do is you want to build the loyalty by the first people that get in, get the lower price. And then again, as you have results, you just raise the price slightly with each subsequent launch. So step up the price, not drop down the price, and then do risk-free guarantee. Don't do a free trial. Again, all of these are really some mind shifts about membership programs, but I think some of these are going to apply to courses and to some of the coaching that you're going to do as well.